also I'm curious about the marketing channels and the
Yeah.
tactics we kind of touched on a little bit, but that you feel launch a brand voice and sustain it.
I
Yeah, good
think that
one.
is, well, and I think it's
Something
such
we
a,
can all
what'd
dive
you
in
say?
on that. I think it's something we can all sort of dive in on, but why
Hmm.
don't you kick that one off,
Are
Becky?
you asking specifically, Aaron, what tactics, or are you saying
Marketing.
how do you kind of infuse your brand into those tactics?
Well, both. So
Okay.
you're trying to launch the brand voice, and what tactics do you use, and how do you employ them?
Hmm.
So I think each channel has a different way to do it. So since I'm on LinkedIn mode, let's stick with that. And let's talk about the infusing part of it that Alex just brought up. To infuse yourself into a LinkedIn campaign, you don't want to sit there and post because I always tell people equate digital to real life. So if you are in the digital space, just spitting out posts, your 3 a week or however many you decided that you could do each week, you're just knocking them out. You're not really infusing yourself into that community. You're really kind of that obnoxious person who's standing on the mountaintop yelling, "Hey, look at me, I did this. Hey, look at me, I did that. Hey, third post, aren't I awesome?" No, people always want to know that they're seen and that they're heard. So you need to find your target audience and you need to engage with them. And then when they come onto your post and they say, "Hey, nice job," make sure you reply back like, "Thanks." Just you don't have to go on and on, but just a reply. Because again, in real life, if I said, "Hey, I love this interview and let's keep doing it," and then Aaron replies or in real life says, "Yeah, isn't it great?" And then I'm just like, "That's weird. I'm just sitting there staring at you quietly. It's awkward." And that's what the digital space is like. If I post and you respond back. Like it's a
Yeah.
conversation.
Mhm.
So engagement is really important. And so that's kind of the infusion side. On the what channels you pick, I mean, you guys know this. It comes down to who your target audience is and who you're trying to reach and where they are. If you're trying to reach you have a really fun new energy drink for young people. Well, LinkedIn is probably not going to be your jam. You need to pick the right ones to connect with the target audience. Where are they hanging out? That's part of your research. Where are your people hanging out? And where they're hanging out is you need to meet them where they're at. They're not gonna go out of their way to come find you. So we got to go find them. So just depends
Yeah.
where they are.
Yeah, that's a really good point, right? And if you can be
Definitely.
genuine in that process,
Right.
then
Right.
it's just easier to connect and build relationships. I think a lot of branding is about what you said at the very beginning, which is about building relationships.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Building trust.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that with all, with us,
Yeah.
because and if you can dial it into just really easy steps like you did, you mentioned, I took some notes: genuine, simple, and consistent, right? A lot of
Yeah.
times those three, so very easy, hard to do, right? But we need some like systems and processes around
Yes.
that.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And Aaron, you had
And
brought up earlier about, the people, at the very beginning when you're talking about some of the statistics. I can't remember the exact one about the brand guide and that they don't necessarily implement it.
yes.
That's another aspect of this. And it's hard. It is hard. I had great advice from somebody with many, many years of experience before me. And she said, right when you were getting sick and tired of your brand, that is when it is finally resonating with your target audience. And she's like, hold on tight to it because as a marketer, you're going to have the CEO or other executives start to get exhausted and be like, "Oh, I'm sick of hearing this." Well, that's fine, but you're not my target audience. Now, it may be kind of hard to say that to your own CEO, but maybe in a better way, find a way to say, right, but that's because we're living it. We built, I mean, from the inside out, the CEO, the executive team leadership, we saw this brand starting to be birthed before it was even a thing. Then you became the brand and you built the logo and the colors and the brand voice. Then you started to push it out. So, I mean, you have like 6 months start time on everybody else, lead time. And so, say 6 months later, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I've been listening to this for a solid year." Well, right, but they haven't. They don't know this, and the they are who we care about. It's not about us; it's about them.
Well,
Yeah.
I find it so valuable that you brought that up because a lot of organizations they get mired down in their own personal perception of their company
Yes.
and their brand and what they're doing. And they forget that it's not about them, it's not for them. And it's a mistake to think that way. And it can lead you down false paths, bad alleys, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Focusing on focusing on your target audience. What do they need? What do they want? How can you
Yeah.
take care of them?
It's
This has
hard.
been a really interesting conversation. It's been great. We're excited for your book.
Yes,
You
me
know?
too. July 30th, Tuesday, July
Yeah.
30th.
Yeah. So, congratulations on writing that, putting that out there.
Thank you.
You know, we'd continue to love to like learn from your experience and share that with our clients, right?
Yeah.
With our customers, because there's so many just valuable everyday things that we can do consistently over time that actually have a big impact. Going back to what you were saying, Aaron, about actually impacting the bottom line. So that'll be really fun.
Buy one for every client you have.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
You bet.
Throwing it out there.
Absolutely.